Hello, YouTube fans. This here is Rarity, and today I'm going to be listening to on this day of July 9th, James the Funny Engine. Although I still referred to him as James the Red Engine. I don't know why this title refers to him as funny, although he can tell some good jokes, but anyway, let's get this story started, shall we? Alright.
Today's story is about James, the number 5 engine, and how he learned that whatever kind of job you do, you can always be really useful.
Indeed, my Jamesy.
James is a bright red steam engine who can pull both passenger coaches and freight cars. James can be a bit of a show-off and sometimes jokes around too much.
Oh dear.
But James is responsible, reliable and hard-working.
Indeed, he is.
When James first came to Sodor, he wasn't shiny red. He was painted black.
Yes,
and he had old
indeed.
wooden brakes. One of James's first jobs was to take the troublesome trucks to the docks. But troublesome trucks can be tricky, and James didn't know how to treat them. James was steaming down a hill when the troublesome trucks began pushing him. James went faster
I
and
remember
faster.
that horrible
They're
day.
pushing me! They're pushing me! He cried.
Oh,
Soon James was out of
why
control
must they remind me
and
of
racing
this?
along the tracks. James tried to stop, but his old wooden brakes didn't work properly, and they caught fire.
Oh,
Then James came to a tight bend. He was going so fast, he came off the tracks.
oh, why must they remind me of this?
Look, James came to rest in the middle of a field.
Oh,
Thomas brought the breakdown train, and they took poor James to the steamworks.
well, at least I
Topham
fixed
Hatt
him
was
up.
waiting for them. James, he said, you shall have some proper brakes and a new coat of paint. But instead of black, we can paint you bright red.
Oh, yes.
James's face lit up. He liked the idea of being red. James was very proud of his splendid red paint. So proud, it made him a bit of a show-off.
Indeed. Oh,
Sir
dear.
Topham Hatt told the engines a special guest was coming to Sodor, a railway inspector from the mainland.
Oh.
I am the smartest and most useful engine, James boasted to Gordon. I should be the one to collect our guest. An engine like me should only carry passengers.
Oh,
I see
dear.
you pulling freight cars, chuckled Gordon. You're only a goods engine.
Not
That
really.
upset James.
He's
and
a
he
mixed
puffed
traffic
grumpily
engine,
away.
Gordon.
At the yard, James decided he would play a trick on Gordon.
Uh-oh.
I'm taking Gordon's passenger
No joke for
coaches
James.
today,
I knew
told
it.
Thomas. James coupled up to Gordon's coaches and sniggered as he hurried off.
Oh.
When Gordon arrived at the yard, Thomas told him that James had taken the express. Just you wait until Sir Topham Hatt hears about this, Gordon huffed.
Oh, dear.
Here's James, shouted James as he pulled into
His
Marriott Station.
catchphrase.
Sir Topham Hatt looked very serious. What's this, James? I hear you took Gordon's coaches. I was only messing about, sir, said James. It was a joke. Some jokes are funny, James, but
Not
this
this one.
said Sir Topham Hatt. You have caused confusion and delay. The next morning,
Jamesy.
James said sorry to Gordon for tricking him. James worked hard all day pulling freight cars. Sir Topham Hatt was very pleased with him. On his way home, James met a smartly dressed man waiting at Marriott Station.
Oh?
I have a meeting with Sir Topham Hatt, said the man. Can I ride with you to Knapford Station? Of course, said James. And he puffed back to the station as smoothly and quickly as he could.
Oh, good.
Sir Topham Hatt was waiting on the platform when James arrived. The smartly dressed man climbed down from James's cab. This is the railway inspector I told you about, said Sir Topham Hatt.
Oh!
James gave me a splendid ride here today. You must be very proud of him, said the
Oh,
inspector.
Jamesy, well
James
done.
beamed from buffer to buffer. Sir Topham Hatt agreed. James is a very splendid engine indeed.
Indeed he
Yeah.
is, Topham. Sir Topham, that is. Yes, my Jamesy is indeed a splendid engine, both in looks and personality at times. He can be a bit of a boastful and troublesome, but I still love him so dearly, my dear sweet Jamesy. Well, YouTube fans, I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I did. This has been Rarity saying goodbye, darlings, and as per usual, happy listening.